Hello friends. Tax audit. What is a tax audit? The dictionary meaning of audit is to review, to inspect, to check, to verify. There are various types of audit prescribed under different laws. Like company law requires a company audit. Cost accounting law requires a cost audit. Under Income Tax Act, also a tax audit is prescribed to ascertain the compliance of the income tax law. Section 44AB of Income Tax Act gives the provision relating to the class of taxpayers who are required to get their accounts audited. So the audit conducted by a chartered accountant under section 44AB of the Income Tax Act is called tax audit. Now, what are the objectives of tax audit? Tax audit is conducted firstly to ensure and to report the particulars required in the form prescribed for audit. There are form 3CA, stroke 3CB or form 3CD, in which the chartered accountant conducting the tax audit will give his finding or his observations. Second objective is like to ensure that the SSC has maintained the books of accounts properly as per law and the fulfillment of other requirement of income tax law has been done. It also checks the fraudulent practices, if any, has been practiced by the SSC. It also ensures the income reported by the SSC is correct and the claims of deductions are also proper. Then one more objectives can be defined as it is a time saving tool for assessing officer. Now assessing officer has to assess so many assessees. So if he himself does all the verification work or vouching work, if he carries out all those things in his office, he will not have time for the more important things. So chartered accountants who is doing the audit is doing his assessing officer's work, and he gives all the data of books of accounts of the SSC in a shorter format, in 1 or 2 days profit and 1 or 2 papers like profit and loss account, balance sheet, cash flow statement, schedules to the balance sheet and P&L accounts, notes to the accounts. So on those in few pages SSC's record are produced before the assessing officer. So it saves time for the assessing officer, and assessing officer can utilize these saved times for other important or investigational aspect of the case. Now, what is the threshold limit for an audit to be conducted. If your turnover during the year is more than 1 crore rupees, then you have to get your accounts audited from a chartered accountant. This 1 crore limit is increased to 10 crore when total receipt and payment during the year is not in cash mode more than 5% of the total receipt and payments. In other words, all transactions, or in other words, 95% of the transactions of the business should be done through the banking channel. If 95% of the transactions have been done through banking channels, like by issuing checks or transferring money online, then threshold limit for getting the books of accounts audited becomes 10 crore. What is Form 3CA, Stock 3CB and 3CD? 3CA and 3CB is the audit report format. A chartered accountant who is conducting audit under Section 44AB will issue his audit report in the Form 3CA or in 3CB. And the prescribed particulars will be given in the Form 3CD by a chartered accountant who is conducting audit under Section 44AB. Now, when 3CA and 3CB, 3CD in Form 3CD, in any case he has to issue. But 3CA and 3CB, there are two different situations. When the audit is being conducted only under Income Tax Act, then chartered accountant will issue his audit report in Form 3CB. But if the SSE has to get his accounts audited under some other laws also, like Company Act or Cooperative Societies Act, in that case, chartered accountant can do the audit under Companies Act, and also he can issue the income tax audit report under Form 3CA. So when audit is done under Income Tax Act as well as under some different law, in that case audit report under Income Tax Act can be issued in Form 3CA. Otherwise, it will be issued in the Form 3CA, 3CB, sorry. And some prescribed particulars has to be furnished, that is to be given in the Form 3CD, that has to be given in both the scenarios. Now, what is the due date for audit under Section 44AB? By which date SSE has to get his accounts audited and furnish a audit report? So the due date is 30th September of the relevant assessment year. For example, for financial year 22-23, tax audit report has to be furnished on or before 30th September 2023. Now, is it mandatory to have a tax audit report from a chartered accountant, or is there any penalty if audit is not done? Yes, the Section 271B prescribes penalty for not getting the books of accounts audited. The penalty can be 0.5% of your turnover or 1,50,000 rupees, whichever is lower. But before imposing penalty, of course, assessing officer will give an opportunity to assessee of being heard, and if he finds there were genuine reasons why he could not get his accounts audited on time, then it is up to the discretion of assessing officer whether to impose penalty or not. So this is all about tax audit under section 44 AV. Thank you.